Hey everyone, it's Melissa and welcome back to our channel. Lindsay and I post videos about books, bullet journaling, and writing. Now, I'm not a big fan of Valentine's Day, but I am a big fan of contemporary YA and contemporary romance. So I thought this would be a good time of the year to list out my favorite YA contemp authors, and then I'm also going to tell you what my favorite book of theirs is. My first favorite author is Morgan Matson, and if you guys have watched our channel, you know that I'm writing a YA contemporary, and I always look to Morgan Matson's books for what I want to write. I feel like she does a great job at a coming-of-age story with romance as like the subplot, whereas a lot of the times we see romance as like the end-all be-all, and honestly, that's not how real life works. Usually somebody's working towards something else and then they happen to fall in love. And I just love that her books feel real like that and her characters feel real and well-rounded. She's also really good at writing side characters where they have like their own stories and they're not just like props. So my favorite Morgan Matson book is The Unexpected Everything. Morgan Matson used a lot of texting in this book and emojis, and I felt like even though maybe someday that might date the book a little bit, it did feel very real and very like just realistic to how teens communicate nowadays. The next author I want to talk about is Simone Elle. I remember just picking up this book about maybe 3 years ago, and I don't know, maybe I just found it in the library or something and I fell in love with it. I read it in a day, and then I went out that same day, picked up the second book, and read that in the same day, which I never do. Her writing is just amazing. It's fast-paced. It keeps you interested. The book that I want to mention that's my favorite of hers is Losing Paradise. And I think that one, if I remember correctly, the reason they couldn't be together was like there was a secret hanging over them. And so I loved knowing that that could blow up at any minute. I love that. This next author is a new adult author, and I feel like she kind of breaks the mold of what new adult is mostly. Her characters don't have like some serious issue that they went through. They're just normal girls in their 20s that are trying to figure out life. And on top of that, her stories are really funny. I find that I'm always like laughing out loud when I'm reading them, and they're feel-good books. And that is Cora Carmack. The first one is Losing It, then we have Faking It, and then we have Finding It. I feel like for a while she was popular, and then somehow these books kind of fell off the radar, maybe because she stopped putting out books. I think she might have gone on to another series that had like football in it, which I haven't picked up yet, but I want to. But these ones are definitely books that I will always remember and will reread at some point because I really love them. The next author I want to mention, I did mention in my favorites of 2017 video, and that is Emery Lord. I feel like with each book, she's really coming into her own and finding her own voice and her own style. And while they do kind of have a Morgan Matson feel to them, like they definitely are their own style. And while I think the names they gave us had a bit of sad undertone to it, the other ones were a little more light and fluffy, and I definitely just always have a good feeling after I read them. I definitely will be picking up more of her books in the future. The last author I want to mention, I've only read one of her contemporary books, but she does write other stories that are, I think they're like the spy genre, like YA spy novels. And I have read some of those, but I'm going to talk about her contemporary book because I loved it so much. And that is Robin Benway. The book I'm talking about is called Emmy and Oliver, and it's about a boy who was kidnapped when he was younger, and he comes back to his family now. And it's about, I think she lives next door, his favorite friend from his childhood, his best friend from his childhood, and it's about them reconnecting and finding that they're both very different people than they were years ago, but kind of reconnecting after all that time. I just remember laughing a lot during this story. I thought it was great at you know, doing the serious but also having very lighthearted moments. I loved the main character. She was like a good girl, like a normal teenager. I don't know. I just really remember loving this story. And I saw the other day that Robin Benway came out with another contemporary called Far From the Tree, and I plan to pick that up really soon because I'm so excited. I loved Emmy and Oliver, and I think she's just going to be amazing at whatever else she writes too. So I feel like I have to do some honorable mentions. I'm just going to say their name. So we have Jennifer L. Armentrout, we have Sarah Dessen, who got me into reading YA contemporary, and we have Robin Schneider, who's also on YouTube, and I just love her as a person, as an author, and I really liked her book, this is it, The Beginning of Everything. So those are my favorite contemporary authors, mostly YA. We had one new adult in there. Please tell me who your favorite are below because I'm looking for recommendations. I need to read more contemporary because it's my favorite genre. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.